Hello and welcome back to another episode of From Prison to the Streets. I'm Eric. I did 11 years in prison and I talk about prison stuff. This is not going to be a video about prison though. This is actually going to be about music. And, I have a lot of people on the channel. I see you guys in the comments and you ask about music or you comment about music, and I like having discussions with you all on it. And so I thought I'd just make a video for some of the music heads down in the comments and just talk about music for a minute, Infinite Canadian, you asked me in a somewhat recent video if I liked Kansas. And the answer to that is yeah, I love Kansas. I'm big into classic rock. Carry On My Wayward Son, that was my ringtone for a while, and I think before that it was Outshined by Soundgarden, and before that it was Walk by Pantera. So that kind of gives you some insight into my musical taste. I had parents that were pretty far apart in age. My dad was born in 41 and my mom was born in 61. So I got the pleasure of experiencing their music. My dad, he listened to a lot of music from the 50s and 60s, and my mom listened to a lot of music from the late 60s and throughout the 70s and into the 80s, so I'm big into old rock and roll, classic rock, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Kansas, Foghat, you name it, And then we got the old stuff, Elvis and Buddy Holly and all that good stuff. So my musical tastes are pretty varied. A lot of people say they listen to everything, but they really don't. And I don't listen to everything, but it's pretty close. I listen to most musical genres that are well done. And what I mean by that is I like something that's different, And that's not true for everything, but for the most part, I like things that are a little bit different. I don't like super mainstream music. Not anymore, not from today's day and age. It seems like something changed from the time I was growing up to now. And I'm sure every generation feels that way when they look back on the past and they look back on musical tastes and what was popular when and stuff like that. I think the 90s had great music. I mean, the pop was pretty shitty. We're not even going to talk about the boy bands. But the rock, I thought, was really good. I like Saliva. I like Godsmack. And some of that's starting to get into early 2000s, too. And some people hate that genre. I guess they call it nu metal now. Back in the day, we just called it rock. But I like that stuff. And Soundgarden, Audioslave, pretty much anything Chris Cornell had anything to do with, I love it. And even the hip-hop from the 90s, the rap and hip-hop, I love that stuff, especially West Coast stuff. And kind of Dr. Dre's like that. Just about anything he had his hands on turned out to be pretty good, in my opinion. I know some people aren't a fan of rap, and that's cool. I don't like newer rap. Not really. There's some independent artists that I like, but by and large, I'm not with it. And I'm not a big fan of country either. I will say some of the smaller artists, or maybe not so mainstream artists, I do like. I do like Tyler Childers. I think he is bringing something back to country that's been lost for a while. I'm from the country. I grew up in the country. And one of the things that I've never really liked about country music is that it seems to cater to stereotypes. Like, not everything in the country is about jeans and a pickup truck and beer. It's just not. Those are great things. I like pickup trucks, I like beer, and I usually wear jeans, but I don't want to hear a song about it. I want to hear a song that communicates something important, either feeling or a story. I love stories, and that's kind of why I like old school rap. Even going back in the 80s, some of the stuff like Slick Rick and Children's Story. And just, I haven't said anything about it yet, but yes, I'm wearing an eye patch, and no, it has nothing to do with me talking about Slick Rick. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. But I like music that tells a story. I think that's really cool. And I like country that does that. But I'm not going to say that was always how I felt. You know, there was a time when I just didn't really enjoy country much at all. And as far as what I listened to, I used to listen to a lot of rap and hip hop with a little bit of rock sprinkled in, you know. I was a huge fan of Rob Zombie. I still am. Rob Zombie's just, I think he's an amazing artist. And that's the sort of thing that I dig. Kind of weird, but still really cool. I've yet to go to a Rob Zombie show. I hope to do that at some point in the future. I think that would be really neat. He's definitely one of my favorite artists. It's hard to pick a favorite artist. Usually when someone asks me what my favorite band is, I just say Amon Amarth, because I honestly can't choose. But I really like Amon Amarth. I like Rob Zombie. I like Lamb of God. I love all that stuff. But that's, you know, Rob Zombie is not in the same genre as Lamb of God or Amon Amarth, and I'm not going to pretend he is. But that's kind of you know, Amon Amarth and Lamb of God, Children of Bodom, that's another one of my favorites. That's a genre, you know, but it's miles apart from that to, you know, classic rock. And I can't really pick a favorite when I'm talking about favorite bands and stuff. But, you know, there's so much great music out there, and it's really, really cool that nowadays we can just make music on a laptop or something, you know, and publish it, put it out there for people to see and listen to. And I kind of want to talk about that for a minute. And by that, I mean independent artists. There's a lot of artists that are, you know, down in the comments. Some of you I have met personally. Some of you I'm friends with on Facebook and stuff. And I really dig hearing the music of independent artists. And I don't have a huge YouTube channel, but I have a pretty decent sized audience for being a nobody from a town of 100 people, you know. But what I'm getting at is, if you're an independent artist and you can give me permission, like a license or something, to feature some of your music on the channel, I would love to react to some music from independent artists, feature it on the channel, maybe get your music in front of a few more eyeballs. If I can have some fun listening to your music and get your music in front of a few more eyeballs, I would love to do that. So if you're an independent artist, either leave me a comment or holler at me over on Instagram or shoot me an email. My email is in the About section on the channel. You just go to my channel, click on my little profile picture. There will be a thing on there that says About. You go over there, you click on About, and there will be a section that says For Business Inquiries. You click that button, and it gives you my email address once you prove you're not a robot. So, yeah, if you want to get a hold of me and have your music featured on the channel, I would be happy to react to it, listen to it, give it a review. But if I'm going to give it a review, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, because I'm not one for mincing words. So with all that said, I'm not going to make this a big, long, drawn-out video. I just wanted to chat with you guys about music. You know, I've been kind of stressed and depressed and not super healthy. And I wanted to do something that kind of lifts my spirit a little bit. And music is a big thing for me. And I'm actually still working on this album. I've just been sick. So let's talk about that. The eyepatch. You guys know I was sick last year. And during the beginning of this year, and they thought they figured out what it was. They thought it was just really bad allergies that kind of helped a sinus infection become pretty much systemic, where it spread through my whole body and caused me all sorts of problems. And they didn't have it figured out. They thought that's what it was, but the allergy treatment stuff that they were having me on was not working, and it was giving me some pretty bad reactions. And I was cool for a little while, up until a week or two ago. I started having problems again, and this eye has been swelling up really bad, and it's been really irritated. I'm not having a great time with it. You know, it itches, it feels like it's on fire, and it's been getting really swollen. I'll throw a picture up, but if you're kind of squeamish, just look away for a minute. It's not ghastly, but it's definitely not pretty either. Okay, you can look back now. But that's what I've been dealing with. You know, I wake up and, you know, it seems like every other day this thing will be swollen really bad, and I've been having a fever in the triple digits almost every day, and you know, the lowest it gets is about 99 and change. I haven't been back to the doctor, and you know, it's not swollen every single day. It's still kind of red every single day, but it's not swollen every single day. So I don't want to go to the doctor and just have them say, you know, you look fine. I was actually supposed to go to an eye doctor earlier this week, and it wasn't swollen, so I decided not to go. But it is what it is, you know. And I live out in the middle of nowhere, so it's not really convenient. It's usually a long drive to get to a decent doctor. But that's all I'm really going to talk about it for right now, because I don't know what's wrong with me, and I'm, you know, not really doing a lot about it. I know I should go to a doctor, but sometimes I like to just stick a Band-Aid, or in this case, an eye patch on things and call it good. And the eye patch is mostly, you know, so you guys don't have to look at it, for one, and for two, so I'm not tempted to absent-mindedly rub my eye. I don't want to talk about that stuff any more than that, because it's not really uplifting or anything. I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on, and I kind of wanted to make a video talking about something that's not stressful and something that's kind of lighthearted. And I do want to use my platform for bringing some small artists more exposure. So if you're an independent artist and you're interested, like I said earlier, go ahead and get a hold of me. But I think that's where I'm going to end the video. But be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later on. So I screwed up my line. It's supposed to go, I'm Eric. This has been another episode of From Prison to the Streets. I'll see you all later. And I can't see the stop button on this thing, so there we go. Yeah.
I am a child.